hope you're well. We shall be live very, 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 very soon. Just wait for a few more people to gather us. Otherwise, it's just going to be a little cozy gathering by the looks of things.
I'm terrified and loving it. Want no regrets to keep me up at night. Feel so alive and loving it. Had to survive, so I finally learned to fight. Laughed till we cried for the fun of it. Now I finally see the light. Don't wanna waste a single minute. Now I finally have you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I hope you're all well. And I'm coming across live and in the house, as they say. I'm on my screen over there. I can see that. I'm on my screen over here. I've got loads of tech and gadgets going on here. All right, just get that there. Let's put the lights on, shall we? Just for the sake of it. There we go. Bit of lights. I hope everybody's been good. Start the show very shortly. Just check me. Yeah, settings there. I hope you've all been good. I hope Stadia's been treating you well. The games have been treating you well. The being in lockdown's not getting you down. If you are in fact in lockdown, I hope it's not getting you down. I hope you keep yourself fit and healthy. Bonjour, monsieur Handley. Bienvenue. Welcome, welcome. And all of that. Arigato. Welcome to the show. We've got lots of things to talk about today. And as I say, think about the games you've been playing. Let me know what you've been playing this week. What games take your fancy? Have you jumped on board with some of the new games this week? Are you excited about some of the announcements that they've made in terms of new games coming very soon? Excited about the pro games, etc., etc. All these things, if we have time or if I feel inclined, I might do a little Q&A at the end. So just think of anything you want to ask me. Stadia related, of course. Stadia related. That would be absolutely great. And I shall start very, very soon. Let's get rid of the background music. Thank you, Bass Rebels. Background music provided by Bass Rebels, as ever. So big shout out to them. Right. Let's let's get going. Just going to press that button there. I'm going to say welcome to you all. Those can join later. But it's Monday Night Stadia Chat episode 6. So welcome to Monday Night Stadia Chat episode 6. I'm Clive Illenden, of course, and I'll be your host for tonight as we take the tram car to Stadia Station this week and look at all the news, new games, and all things Stadia for the week. So jump on board. Ding ding. Tickets please. Let's jump straight into it with the new releases, he says. So he clicks on that, clicks on that, clicks on that. Okay, so the new releases and the announcements. As ever, the Stadia games library keeps growing and growing, as I always knew it would. All good things to those who wait. As we get into the cycle of games releases, we see lots and lots of games coming to Stadia. And I must admit, I've spent more on games in the last month than I have in 3 years. Because I've always sort of got my games from Xbox Game Pass. But I've actually splurged on about 4 or 5 games in the last week or so. But anyway, this week, launched this week, according to the Stadia website, we've got the Crew 2. Let's put the transition there. There we are. You're not looking at what I'm looking at. There we go. That's better. Let's just pause that a minute. There we go. So we've got Lost Words Beyond the Page, of course. Wonderful, wonderful game. I'm going to come to that a bit later. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it before, especially into puzzle games. But also, it's just a lovely game. And $14.99 US dollars. I think it's only about $11.99 UK money. It's great value for money, and it's a lovely little game indeed. And of course, The Crew 2 has been released. I don't know if anybody's played on the had a go at Crew 2. I'm tempted because it's only $15 or about it's $14.40. I seem to think. Let me just it's $14.40 in pounds sterling, I believe, which it'd be rude not to, really. So I'm tempted, although I have played it a bit before on the Xbox. But maybe I'll be better at it. Maybe I'll be better at it if I played it now. That's what I'm thinking, really. With but these are such good pro discounts. Let me know what you think about the pro discounts. They are such good value and price to sell. I mean, as I say, this price for The Crew 2 ends in 2 days' time, so it's literally price to sell. And as I say, it's almost at that level. You're just going to buy it, aren't you, for the sake of it, really. Let me know if you bought any of those games, whether you bought both of the games or whether you've just bought one of the games or you're holding off. You think you're going to get them for free later on Pro. Who knows? So, yeah, this is such good deals. I might go here for the deluxe edition, the Crew 2 deluxe edition at $18, which I think is only like £15 in my British pounds sterling, which, as I say, for pro members is extraordinarily good rate, a good price. So 2 days to get it. Hurry up. Ends on the 1st of April. And I believe there's also been an update on this already on the Crew 2, according to Stadia Source. So thank you, my friends over at Stadia Source. He says at the blank screen, come on, wind in. There we go, Stadia Source. So there's been a free drive update here. So already, so straight away, like a day one patch almost, these extra things. So if you have got it, pick that up. Anyone pick those up in pick these games up in chat? Let me know. As I say, I think I played the Crew 2 or the Crew on Xbox One, and I was just sort of so-so about it. But I'm definitely going to pick it up. I think at this price, I've got nothing better to do in my time. I'm stuck in a house as we all are. So there you go. In addition to that, we've had further announcements. Let's go back here of games coming. So we've got, where is it? Here we go. Wrong one. There we are. We've got Moto GP20 has been announced. It's not really my cup of tea. And Monster Jam Steel Titans as well. As I say, I'm not sure these games are my cup of tea, but it's good to have this sort of, to see these games regularly sort of getting released on Stadia and building up that Stadia library. That's the key thing. And of course, there's the pro games. Let's hop to the pro games here. Spitlings, I already have. Serious Sam the Collection, yes, all of it. I'm pleased about this, as I resisted getting it initially, as I was set aside my dosh for Doom Eternal at the time. Similar sort of game, but Doom was going to look better. So I'm glad Serious Sam's come on. Stacks on stacks on stacks, brand new to Stadia. There's a great interview on the Glory of Stadia, Wingy's channel, with the developer. Actually, a pretty good video, really. Good interview with the developer there, so check that out. I recommend checking out that interview. So in the game that I like to call, oh damn, I brought that one already, Stadia Pro game, it's 2 out of 3 for me. I bought Spitlings, but I haven't bought the other two, obviously, because one is exclusive new. So that's the result. To me, 2 free games effectively. What about you? Have you sort of anybody already got Serious Sam and Spitlings, or already got Spitlings? As I say, if you just think about all the games from the start, bearing in mind there's some games here missing, so we haven't got there's no Destiny 2 in this lineup here, which we already had. There's the 2 Tomb Raider games, which we already had, and I think there were some others. I can't think what they were now. But the pro game, if you just did nothing but the pro games, you're getting a pretty good library, really, all things considered. So let me know what you think about that. I think the Crew 2, it's a bit more than just driving around Stadia Roxy. It's you're racing to point really, and racing other people, and so there's sort of activities to take part, and some of it's quite sort of tricky. You have to sort of deliver things and some aspects and get them to A to B, etc. And it's meant to be like also a massive open sandpit type game as well. So like, anyway, let me know what you think. What games you're looking for. I think I'm looking forward to Serious Sam, to be honest. I think it would just be a bit easier than Doom Eternal, which I've sort of struggled with a bit. Right, what I want to talk about now, he says, professionally. Woo. I'll go through my list here. Oh yes, what have you been playing? That's what I was going to talk about. Because there's been so much choice recently, and I've played so many different types of games that I'm beginning to put games to one side, not finish them, and so I'm going to come back to them. So the SteamWorld ones I've sort of stopped playing for a while because I've jumped onto new games. Doom Eternal, I'm playing the Division 2 a lot. As I said, games are getting put to one side as I jump to the next shiny thing. But this week I've been mostly playing the Division 2, which I said before I really, really like. And I joined up in a party for the first time on this one, which was a lot of fun, although it did reveal my shortcomings. Doom Eternal, I'm still finding a bit hard, but I changed the setting, got over the hump where I was sort of stuck at it a bit, and I continue playing now and then. I just love the loading speed on this, that when you sort of die, you're straight back in, no time for regrets or second thoughts. I love it. And of course, Destiny 2, playing a lot of Destiny 2. My girlfriend only seems to play this. She's fairly new to gaming, to be honest, and she's determined to rank up her Guardian higher than me, so she's playing it all the time. But mostly this weekend has been dedicated to one game in particular, which I completed. As in fairness, it's not a massive game, and that's Lost Words Beyond the Page. Oh, yes, have you done Dance 2020? Just Dance 2020? Got to keep fit. I've been doing the Joe Wicks in the morning. Anybody been doing Joe Wicks? I was doing it with my kids. My kids aren't here today and tomorrow, but I did it myself today. Sort of put it in the diary, trying to make a habit while I'm stuck at home, really. Right. What was I? Oh, yes. So I was going to talk about here. I was going to talk about chat there. Yes. Sam, that's cool. It's true. Division 2 mostly, says David. Lost Words is lovely. Absolutely. And that's what we're going to talk about now. So I put my little scripty bit on there. Find my bit. Why doesn't it go back to where I started? Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about Lost Words Beyond the Page. Beautiful game. I've got a little... there we are. I'm just going to play that bit. Beautiful, beautiful game. Oh yes, I was going to talk about. I think I was going to, before I go on to this, I was going to talk about Orcs Must Die. I have a feeling, because they're beginning to ramp up the marketing on that. I think Orcs Must Die is coming very, very soon, and I'm very excited about that. And there was a very good piece here in Game Rant, and in it, the guy talks about Stadia, and I'm just going to find the quote for you here. Interestingly enough, right at the bottom, of course, Why would you put anything about Stadia at the top? So Orcs Must Die. This was an interview with the developer. Question: Orcs Must Die 3 is going to be an exclusive to Stadia for some time. Did that exclusivity affect its design philosophy or the capacity of what you're able to achieve? And this is the Orcs Must Die developer speaking here. This is what I've been saying about Stadia. There's all this controversy about Stadia. So if you're a gamer and read about consoles or platforms, you've probably read all sorts of stuff about it. But there are two things to me that are awesome about Stadia. This is great to hear stuff from developers. Actually, interesting enough, the people who know about gaming, really know about gaming, always have positive things to say about Stadia. Anyway, one is no matter what we do as far as the size of a war scenario, the experience we create will be the same for everyone regardless of their machine. I guess if you have the slowest internet on the planet, you would suffer, of course, but that's true for every game. It has nothing to do with orcs. The point I'm trying to make is that everyone will get the same war scenario on Stadia because everyone gets the same experience. When you think about it, that's pretty cool. Because if you have a crappy machine and we release the game, you wouldn't be able to have all the things a war scenario can offer. You'd have to turn off your effects and everything. So it means if you've had a crappy PC and you've got the PC version, you have to tweak the effects to make it run on your machine. Yes, you'd have to turn off your effects and everything and live with the best scenario you can get. And you probably have a crappy frame rate. But with Stadia, everybody gets the same experience. And I thought that was just quite interesting, and it's quite positive to kind of see that and to get that kind of feedback from a developer. And as I said, developers that people have interviewed and stuff tend to have an overall positive view of Stadia. Is because they know the power of Stadia, they know what it can do, and they're excited about it. So it's good to see those sort of interviews. Let me know, anybody excited for Orcs Must Die? Right. But that was a good interview. I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link down below. Just going through the quotes there that he said. I've read that bit. This is meant to be all slick. I've got a little prompter up here, but it keeps going back to the beginning. Doom Eternal. Yeah, we've done all that. Yeah. Excuse me for my unprofessionalism here. Right. This is where we're at. We are going to talk about now, as I said, I've got a lot going on here. A lot going on. Trying to work many strings. We're going to talk about, let's do a nice still there. We're going to talk about this Lost Words Beyond the Page, which I completed, as I say, is in fairness, it's not a long game, but I completed it over the weekend, and my God, what an egalic, beautiful, melancholic game. At the core of it, it's just a platforming game with all the familiar platforming tropes, such as moving, platforms. But it's the imaginative interpretation of how it tells the story through those platforming mechanics and drags you in. It's like it's like a bedtime story, like a good book. It's like a good book, which ironically, well, not ironically, but it is a book. That's the thing. It's like a good bedtime story. And like other games with lots of text, I know people go, oh, too much text, I don't like it, I want the action. This game is about writing a story after all, but you have to game as you read it, so you don't even notice. I was thinking this is a great way to encourage kids to read. You get a game like this for schools to sort of help kids with their reading, they don't even realize they're engaging their sort of reading brain. It has two distinct art styles. It has this art style that I'm showing you here, a fantasy story being written by a young girl, and then the underlying sort of true story that's going on in her life, which is of course the where she keeps a journal and stuff. You know, it's not for everybody, I'll be honest with you, but I found the story, as a parent especially, I found it an amazingly touching story, and the game for me transcends gaming to some degree in its beauty. I mean, I think there's some weird moments in it, really. It's similar to me, my experience I had with Rhyme. Here's my sad game collection here. Oh, there we go. It's similar to Rhyme, and of course, Rhyme was by Tequila Games, and obviously similar to Guilt in itself. What's going on there? Oh, it's rewinding there. And also similar to Unravel. I don't know if anybody's ever played Unravel before. Unravel, I absolutely love Unravel. Anybody played Unravel? It's a great game on the Xbox. And again, that's about loss and memory and stuff like that. Yeah, they're look, poking at the screen. Yeah, it's because my script is up here, you see, and it's on my phone. I need to find a way or memorize it. Anyway, the script. This thing has a script. Yeah, it does have a script, sort of. Yeah, so it reminds me, as I say, of. There we go. Here we are. There we are. Unravel, which again is about memories and loss and really sad and melancholic, and but in a beautiful, rendered in a beautiful way, really sweet. And Rhyme, of course, by, as I say, Tequila Games, of course, did Guilt. And again, that game, Rhyme, had me sobbing at the end, like a big wet fish. I tell you, again, a beautiful game, and also similar to Never Alone, which is another game I played on the Xbox Game Pass, and that was like an Alaskan cultural game. So it's funded by sort of Alaskan sort of culture office or whatever, and it's about Inuit culture and stuff like that. But again, it's sort of beautifully drawn. It's a platforming game. And it explores Inuit culture, trying to keep it alive through gaming, which is a brilliant idea, I think, a way of keeping cultures alive, and it's not all being the same thing. And as I say, beyond the page, not for everybody, but I absolutely love it. The music's beautiful. The story is absolutely wonderful. I reached out to the stories by Rihanna or Ree Pratchett. Stories by Ree Pratchett, who is also the lead writer on the Lara Croft Tomb Raider stories. And there's a bit of a young Lara Croft in this character, I think. And I wonder to what degree is there's a sort of an element of autobiographical sort of spine running through this for Rhea Pratchett. So I might try and contact her, and I mean, she responded to one of my tweets, which was very sweet, when I was saying I thought it was a wonderfully written piece. And just I'd like to interview her, really, just get a sense as a writer what she's trying to achieve in the games, because I love Tomb Raider games because they're great stories and great characterization. But this feels very personal, I think, and I'm just curious whether that is the case at all. Anyway, let me know what you think. Have you played it? Anybody played it? Unravel is gorgeous, beautiful game there. Stadia Rocks. Resurrected, what did you think? Never Alone, yeah, it's a great game. I like Never Alone as well. Very similar. It's sort of in the similar vein. It's great to see that games can do these things. Look, I love a Doom Eternal. I love a Destiny 2 blowing up, shooting aliens or whatever, or a Division 2 and all that kind of stuff. Of course I do, but I think Terry Pratchett is her father. I think he is. But yeah, I mean, it put me in a different mood. My sort of emotional mood changed. Every time I go back to that page, of course you lot can see it. I'm just going to go back to live. There we are. Yeah, my emotional mood changed playing the game. I just found myself calm becoming calm and stuff like that. It was just like really, really wonderful. Anyway, I highly recommend it. It's not that expensive. I mean, it's not that long. You could complain of that, and if you don't, if you're not that bothered really about, you just want explodey things, then it's not for you. And some of the puzzles were a bit repetitive and very easy. All right, Trevius, lovely to see you. But there were some tricky bits as well. And it gave you that satisfaction of sort of big brain. I worked it out all by myself, big brain satisfaction. And I was very proud of myself that I managed to, transition through the... We don't want that transition. That word says transition there. I managed to sort of get through the levels. Some bits were easy, but it just wonderful mechanics to it as well. Just the idea, and as I say, I think it would be great. You could get kids reading, developing games like this. They don't even realise they're reading or selecting words, or, as I say, engaging their reading mind. Here's a 3D finger coming. There we go. Anyway, let me know what you think. It's good to see that games can do this sort of thing. Really, that's my overall feeling about it. You need a rest from the chaos of some games. In other news, before I forget, it looks like, I did take a picture of this. I wonder if I can find it. Oh yes, I know where I did it. I put it over here. Transition. It looks like that Stadia are doing their sort of stealthy upgrades to the Stadia app, and you can now, apparently, again, I think this is in Stadia source, you can have up to 10. You see there, up to 10 in a party. So that's good. I think it was previously six in a party, and so I quite like the way that Stadia just sort of do little upgrades, little small minor upgrades and tweaks, and don't always tell you about it, and you just discover it. Not everything needs a big song and a dance number, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, that's in other news, as I say. That's the main thing in other news. Right, and I think that's most of what's been going on, really. There were some other things I'm just going to talk about. Oh yeah, 10 p.m. starts tonight. Yeah. Oops. Yes. Exactly. Ma, where were you? We were all waiting for you. You've been marked absent. There's so much to do. I need a director to do all this. Anyway, the other thing that so there's a couple of things that kind of occurred today, as they say, and one of those is that Digital Foundry finally got round to doing its sort of analysis of Doom Eternal on the Xbox X and Stadia, which of course are the best versions of Doom Eternal, and they did a like for like comparison in terms of visuals and of course latency, and surprise surprise, visually they were very positive about it. Actually, the Doom Eternal on Stadia, they were very impressed, I think, with it visually, and most impressed. But they went on about latency on it. I didn't see any latency, and I think this is sad. So of course, obviously, they were fairly positive about the overall look of the game, and then comparing Xbox X with Stadia, they measured the difference in latency, and there's a difference of about 29 milliseconds. 29 milliseconds. Now, obviously, that's the difference between something that's in your house, sitting under your desk, and something which is beamed to your cloud, and there's a 29-second delay. However, they said it was noticeable. 29 fucking seconds, 29 milliseconds. So I mean, I think it's an unfair comparison, really. And of course, I just noticed that some press just picked up on that bit. So from this whole article, talking about the wonderful visuals on Stadia and how they've achieved it, amazing visuals, and it looks amazing, and how id Software's done this amazing job, etc., etc. But their only issue was that they noticed the latency, the difference. I don't know how you'd notice the latency difference between an Xbox X and Stadia when it's like 29 milliseconds. The game is so fast and furious. It's like playing on blooming ice. It's crazy. Anyway, so obviously some of the press have picked up on that a little bit. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but it's just funny that from that massive article, your headline then becomes Doom Eternal suffers from latency on Stadia. And that's what's annoying. From a massive article, an element about the difference between Xbox X and Stadia latency when measured forensically then becomes this headline in Engadget or whatever magazine it was. Very annoying, but I'm not going to worry about it too much, because you're not going to sit and play the Xbox X version and then suddenly turn around and I'm going to play the Stadia version. And as long as, if you're playing the Stadia version, that's your main version, and you have an incredible experience and it feels latency free to you, because it's all about how it feels to you as a gamer, not how it might be in reality in terms of, oh yeah, look, it's 29 milliseconds out or something like that. Like, you're not going to notice that. We're not Quicksilver. We're not superhuman or anything. Anyway, that's my thought. What do you think? Let me know what you think. I've not experienced any latency or lag or at all on Doom, and it just flows so fast. If anything, too fast. Can I say that? Too fast. But let me know what you think. I'm not going to dwell on it, because I'm beyond dwelling on that. These sort of things, because they just get you down. And as long as you're having a great experience and the game looks amazing, that's all that matters. I do seem to have issues with Division 2. Keeps saying my connection has dropped, and it drops. Are you playing on your Chromecast Ultra? I've had a few issues with my Chrome browser, and I did change it to use my graphics card to play. I even got a rubbishy graphics card. It might be because I have a power line, so I'm not getting the full benefit of my internet, and I think the power's a bit due. It can affect the internet if there's fluctuation in the power. That's, I don't know, my excuse, but it's seamless on the Chromecast Ultra. Yeah, of course. When you look at it clinically, frame by frame, it's like, it's not a race. It's not, you're talking milliseconds. It's like ridiculous. And once you know it, as I say, if you were literally sitting there, oh yeah, oh. It might be a sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy or a fallacy in terms of his mind. Once he knows it, he's done the analysis. He's then going to, oh. Do you know what I mean? It's like psychologically. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to talk some positive news as well. One last thing I want to is, as I say, there seems to be a gamut. Radiant. Thank you, MA. You're always positive there. Yes, it's a new key light. There seems to be, you put me off there. I don't know, my script was whizzing past there. It's Nivea for Men, that's the one. There seems to be a gamut of Stadia podcasters, content creators, and that's great. And you can see a real community building up. You guys here, all the people who watch afterwards. And I just wanted to share with you that some of these content creators, as you probably are aware, are, I've gone back on that page, haven't I? Oh no, I'm good. Are teaming up for a monthly podcast called Stadia Initiative. I think they see themselves as Stadia's Avengers Assemble, judging by their intro video. I see I'm not there. Invite in the post, is it? Maybe I'm the X-Men, the X-Men side of the Marvel universe, I'm Professor X. Yeah, or Magneto, God forbid. Anyway, it's great to see Stadia content creator community coming together, and I look forward to that. So, it's good that people are, that we're coming together in that way. So check that out. Stadia Initiative. It's got all the regular faces. Have I left a link in? I'll leave a link down below, but it'll be interesting to see. I know it's got Chase in it. I know it's got Megatron in it, and loads of other, mostly Americans, stroke Canadians. A couple of Brits in there, but it's something to look forward to anyway. Something to add to your collection of Stadia podcasts and activity. And quick shout out, if you want what I like to call the long read, or the more measured, the Radio 4 version, the Radio 4 program of Stadia, as it were, then check out Stadia Roxy's in the chat. Check out his latest YouTube video. I had it on. It was like listening to Radio 4, but all about Stadia, which is great. I had it on in the background, nice cup of tea, listen to it. Nice sort of measured, in-depth, more of a sort of an essay type approach than some of this sort of wild and crazy Stadia content creators out there. So well worth recommending. Stadia Roxy's there in the channel. Click on his click on him, subscribe, and all of that. And if you're new to the channel here, which I don't think any of you are, but if you're watching it after the event and you're new to the channel, then please hit like, hit subscribe. Does me a world of wonder, and much appreciated. Anybody have any Stadia related questions? This show was meant to be smoother than it was, but I'm trying to control too many things at once. That's what it is. I need a slicker way of my dealing my script and then going off improving. Stick to the script. So unprofessional. He says he's such a radio voice. There's Stadia Rocks there. But it's not just the voice, it's the way it was edited, to be honest, Mr. Rocks. It had that radio program feel about it. I mean that in a negative way, of course. I mean there's a positive way. It was very good. Very good. I believe I might be on the show, apparently. Maybe. Not this one. Anyway, any questions out there? Any games? Let me know what you've been playing. Anybody playing anything we're not been mentioning about? Any I think there was a farming simulator update as well. A new harvest. But if you're into farming simulator, then hey, apparently there's a new harvest. I struggled with that. I didn't know what to do with my corn. I've said that before. Well, Antonio, I think we already see some of these sort of negative latency to a certain degree. What Stadia is all about is looking at all the points of latency in the chain and trying to eradicate where they can. So the way that your controller, when you're playing on Chromecast, the controller connects with the Wi-Fi. It takes out that extra journey from the device and then to the cloud. It goes straight to the cloud. Stuff like that. There's lots of sort of complicated stuff as well. But they're basically saying, how can we remove bits out of the chain to make that latency free? And to be honest, when we're talking about the difference between 29 milliseconds between Xbox X and Stadia, that's assuming that the person playing the Xbox X has exactly the same ultimate setup in terms of their internet and everything, and their telly is in the right gamer mode. Whereas we know different people have their setups are different, so that Xbox X sort of advantage in latency might be lost because somebody hasn't put their gamer mode on their TV or something like that, or the way that they have it set up with their monitor or something like that. So it's relative really to your setup. Whereas as long as your internet is good enough and your Wi-Fi network or whatever is good, not too crowded, your Stadia experience will be consistent. And again, put the gamer mode on your TV, make sure that that's there. Again, people might play on a monitor on their Xbox or a TV, and it has like a massive lag in latency built within the TV, or you might have a super fancy monitor that's got a 1 millisecond delay. So it's all relative. Yeah, Antonio. I mean, I wondered what degree that some of it is there already. We don't know, because they said that they're using it already. I think, but you wouldn't notice. That's the point. It might be very very subtle. You think it's part of the base platform? Meh. I think it will be on in all the platform really, and I think, as I say, it will it will not be noticeable to us. It's just it'll be very a sort of a minor, almost magical thing. I mean, as I say, playing Division Two or Doom Eternal or whatever on playing on that on the TV behind you there, um, is such a great experience. And I have, as I said, I've said it a million times. If you watch my podcasts, I have around 60 megabits per second. And some days I can be in here and I've got my boy on the Xbox S upstairs, my daughter, I don't know, streaming TikTok or Instagram or whatever, making a video, and it still works. Much more than that, and then it probably gets a bit tippy, but I mean, I'm talking at like optimal level. It still works really, really well. So if you've got like 100 megabits per second plus, then the experience must be awesome because you've got more capacity. That's why I can't stream my games, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, well, I think Antonio, the thing is with the, I think what we'll start seeing it with the Stadia exclusive games. I don't mean the timed exclusive, the ones developed specifically for the platform and nothing else. Is you'll start seeing developers sort of get their teeth into the Stadia technology and suddenly, because what happens with developers is you'll get the sort of the chief techie whiz guy, and he'll come in, and then he likes he or she, or they'll like to go and play with the tech for a while, go away, and then come back and maybe push the tech in place that the sort of hardware manufacturer or Stadia whoever never even thought about. And sometimes that takes a while, and often with consoles, you don't see the best games until maybe the next second or third generation of games, so much further in that console's life, when the developers have had a real chance. Because originally, the first set of games, they're all developing on PCs before they get the developer machines. And they don't really have time to really test out what those, the development machines can do. Whereas I think with Stadia, what we'll see is that that gap between those sort of early games and really pushing what Stadia can do will be much shorter because they don't have to wait for the developer machines to come to their office. So if you're a developer, usually you have to spend thousands of pounds renting a developer machine from Sony or a developer machine from Xbox so you can develop your game ready for when the consoles release. Beauty of Stadia is your team, wherever they are in the world, works on the developer console because it's in the cloud, ready to go. So I think we'll see developers really pushing the envelope on what Stadia can do, not just the in-house Stadia team or the studios that Stadia have acquired, whatever. We'll start seeing that, and then really pushing the boundaries, and that's when we'll start seeing it. And then you'll get things. You'll sort of see how maybe developers can use things like that negative latency to make their games appear even more fast and furious, as it were. Anyway, that's kind of how I sort of think about it. Just finished Borderlands 3. There's a new update. Are you going to get the new update this weekend, or does that include Trevisis? Yeah. Well, of course, exactly. If you're a developer, it's ideal, Resurrector, isn't it? Your team can work from home. Whereas, as I say, everybody had to keep their assets um, on massive computers in the office. They had to test out the builds on the developer machine from the from Xbox or PlayStation that sits in the office, whatever. Whereas, of course, developers can just sit at their home and access the power of the Stadia console, a developer machine, in the cloud. So I don't think there'll be any delay in terms of the development of games during this sort of COVID period for Stadia. I think one thing they wouldn't hold back is the negative latency bucket, as if people are concerned with latency. Yeah, did you see that thing about the bus, the latency bus, or the negative? What's her name? Erin talked about at the stadium. That looked pretty impressive. Any other games that people have been playing? Let me know. Or anyone that you think I should play. The Game Bus, that's it. Thank you, Antonio. The Game Bus. I knew it was some bus. Some sort of bus, wasn't it? Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, I think there's lots of technology that, I don't even understand because I'm not a techie developer. How's that? Are we back? Are we back there? Yes, back in the house. Sorry about that. The bus, yes. I agree with the bus. Don't know what happened there. Internet problems, I think. Anyway, thank you for bearing with just rambling on about development and techie stuff. But anyway, I think the key point I was saying is that developers are the ones that are really excited about the potential of Stadia. And as hinted at by the developer of Orcs Must Die 3, you could tell in that interview he was excited about the prospect of, having 500 orcs come over the hill at once and not having to sort of fake it by saying, 500 orcs are coming over, and then you sort of see 200. You only see like 200 orcs at one time. You see the whole 500. And I think it's that sort of stuff that developers are beginning to explore and will realize, and we'll start seeing it more and more. And the potential there is really exciting. And of course, I'm looking forward to the announcement of the big, they're going to update us on the work they're doing with the new studio that they're working in partnership with for the first sort of proper Stadia exclusive. So, yeah, looking forward to that. It's gonna, it's all gonna be good, and I'm also looking forward to Mass Spitlings games not tomorrow, on Wednesday, when it becomes part of the Stadia Pro games. Anyway, there you go. That's it for tonight, I think. Sorry about the crash in the middle there. I don't know what happened. I will get a new computer one day. If this lockdown goes on much longer, the money I save on my train fare for 2 months will buy me a decent creator machine. Not a gaming machine. Well, a gaming machine, really, but something I can do slightly better editing and hopefully handle the streams a bit better. Anyway, as ever, I appreciate you all coming here today. Please like, share it, let your friends know. Oh, you missed Clive and his Stadia Monday night, Stadia Monday night show. What are you doing? So look forward to that. I'll be here again, same time next year. I hope 10 p.m. is good for everybody. It's going to be the new time until I change it to 9 p.m. No, it's 10 p.m. is the good time. I try to capture for the benefit of the UK and the Europeans and the US, and to me 10 p.m. Seems like a good time. So hopefully it is. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate it. You're all good guys and girls. It's good to see you in the chat. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Make sure you check out my other YouTube videos. I did a review of my Elgato key light. See, I've got a nice key light, but I've got rubbish internet and laptop for streaming. And I shall see you very, very soon. Thank you and goodbye.